Hi, Randy.
Hello.
What's your full name, Randy?
Randolph Sherwood.
And we're sitting out here in front of Java Junction.
Yes.
On Friday, July 30th. And it's about, quarter to 2 in the afternoon.
Yes.
So we've been chatting here, and you started telling me about comprehensive financial reports on an annual basis.
Right. Every municipality, town, village, city, county, state, even the federal government has to create a comprehensive annual financial report.
Right.
Now, most budgets are based on a fraction of the assets owned by the incorporated entity,
right,
town or whatever.
Right.
Now, whenever they go over budget, and rather than tapping into the reserves, they tend to increase taxes.
Right.
So some people, including the gentleman at CAFR 1, Comprehensive Annual Financial Report 1, has estimated that there could be as much as $60 trillion in reserves invested in various markets that could actually be used to eliminate all property taxes, all income taxes, and still pay all essential services for at least 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And since most people don't know these financial assets exist, they don't ask about them.
Right. Well, I think that's one of the things that Brockport had been dissolved that they would have had to do is had an appraisal of all the land they own and equipment and buildings and that kind of thing. And I never heard a figure of what the village's assets would be worth.
Right.
If you had to guess, do you have any idea?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it probably would be several $1 million, wouldn't you think?
Oh, definitely, at least.
Yeah, if they started selling stuff off. So what you're saying, it's kind of like the farmers say, you're cash poor but land rich.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Do you live in Brockport?
Temporarily I'm residing with a relative, but eventually I'll be building a house in Orleans County.
Right. Did you vote in the dissolution?
I'm not a registered voter of Brockport.
Yeah. That vote was on June 15th. Should the Village of Brockport be dissolved, yes or no? And if you could have voted, how would you have voted?
No, it should not have been dissolved. The question really should have been, was with the current administration fiscally responsible with the choices they made for improving the village and the consequences of those decisions they made.
Yeah, of course, the tax cutters' argument was that they were very poor financial managers and that the town of Sweden board could have done much better, so the village should be dissolved so that the town board would take them over, and actually they would be the ones then that would manage the budget. Do you think the town board would do any better?
I think primarily it's the responsibility of the people to elect officials who will provide the core services that are required.
Right.
Without necessarily getting into the social aspects of the town and funding projects or activities that constitutionally the town really isn't empowered to perform.
Yeah, like what, for example?
Well, if you have a beautification project, it might look like make a village look better, but it doesn't add to the tax base. It may actually remove property from the tax base.
Right.
And it doesn't really help the general people who might not actually use that resource.
Yeah, so recently a controversy has been the fact that the village would not give approval to the DPW, the Department of Public Works, to hang the flower baskets and water them. They voted no. So the way they got hung and have been watered is by volunteers. It sounds to me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me that you are agreeing with that policy that the board has set, that they're not spending village resources, taxpayers' resources, hanging and maintaining flower baskets.
Well, yes, in the sense that many functions that the governments have taken over are actually better done by private organizations.
Right.
Like a charity could put up flower baskets and water them, maintain the baskets, winter storage for the containers, provision of new seedlings in springtime.
Yeah.
This would help everyone to beautify the town but it doesn't really, it's not really an essential service that the town should be responsible for.
Right. I think that's the view of the current board. I think that's why they voted no. That's my understanding. Yeah. And actually, the flower baskets was a project of the Brockport Merchants Association. They got contributions. They actually purchased them, and they also got contributions to help with the cost of watering, but then they were going to give that money to the village to do it when they easily could have hired a landscaper or private people to do it. And that would have been your strategy for handling that. Yeah. I tend to agree with you, yeah. Any last words you'd like to share with our viewers?
Hi, everybody.
So where are you building your house, Randy?
Well, out in Brockport, I have a 6 acres or so. I'm going to put up a cordwood structure.
Yeah. So we're going to lose you here at Brockport.
Well, I'll still come back to the property.
You'll still come back for the
I still work in Brockport at the college.
What do you do at the college?
I work for a private corporation called BASC. They run all support services at the college.
Right. And what do you do for BASC?
My title is utility worker. I basically, the food service workers at tracks are my customers.
Yep.
So I make sure they get what they need to provide for the customers who come in the door.
I hear BASC does a terrific job. They've won a number of awards.
Yes, there's a statewide competition with all state colleges, and in food service, we've been rated #1 for over 21 years.
Yeah, good for you. So you do great work. You're not unionized, are you?
I am. We're a private sector CSEA.
Are you? Yeah.
So we're represented directly or indirectly by national unions.
Yeah, good. Well, thanks so much for all your good work at the college, and thanks for your ideas about financial management of the village. I really appreciate it. And your idea about outsourcing non-essential services, I think that might be something that the village board ought to pursue as a strategy to cut costs in some ways. So thanks so much for the interview.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too.